Howdy y'all and welcome back. Primary Arms Gen 2 Cyclops. Just got it in the mail. Been waiting on this for quite some time. Dimitri over at Primary Arms has been teasing them on the social medias. I got my order in early. Wasn't actually expecting it until August and pleasantly surprised when I got the notification that it shipped the other day. And because I'm right here in Houston, I got it like today. So yay for that. So let's take it over to the table and do an unboxing. All right, so let's do an unboxing, although I did actually already take this out of the box and look at it. So it's not an actual unboxing, but we've got a little Loctite, little thread lock there, owner's manual, and a lens cloth. And let's get to the optic itself. Little lens covers that I will probably never ever use. And there is the actual optic itself. And for those of y'all who aren't already aware, this is an ACOG mini style mount. So you've got the 3 screws down at the bottom. And you got some Torx head screws that will hold it onto your pick rail. And what else do we have in here? We have some sort of cantilever mounts, I guess, to give you different options. I don't think I'll be using any of these, but I guess options are always nice. And we have a small hex driver and a rather larger Torx. So if you don't have your own set of Torx head bits, they've got you covered. And a bunch of extra screws that are already pre-thread lockered, so that's kind of cool. And that appears to be it. And the battery was already inside. So let's see if I can get this to show on camera. That's always fun. Yeah, that's always going to be a trick. So let's kick it right up to, instead of 11 this time, we're going to 13. And boom, there is 13. Flaming hot and bright. And then we'll run it down the dial. Let's bring it back up. So somewhere there around 10, it starts to get properly daylight bright. And then, like I said, 13 is just flaming. Obviously, the camera's going to fight me there on what it wants to focus on, but yeah, there you go. There's a nice clear view of the reticle itself. So let's bring this up and into daylight and take a look into the neighborhood and see what we're seeing. Happened to get a nice, bright, sunshiny summer day here in Houston, so let's check that out. All right, so the camera may or may not cooperate here, but hopefully it'll bounce into focus on that reticle there. But you can, if not, just use your imagination. You can see the reticle. It's about a 97-degree, blazing hot Houston summer afternoon, mid-July. Sun is absolutely raging, and you can see that that reticle is perfectly daylight bright. And that star on my neighbor's house is about 50 or 60 yards. And it is, I'm guessing that's a 36-inch star, 30-inch possibly. So to kind of just give you a rough idea of what this would look like at sort of that distance, and then bringing it in closer, Let's take a look here at the Tacoma, which is about 15 feet away, something like that. Forgive my shakiness here. I'm looking through a camera, through an optic. But anyway, if you were to use the scale of the truck there and sort of imagine a human being sized target exiting that vehicle, you would be placing the optic directly over that, and that whole horseshoe reticle would give you a nice, easy to find center of mass kind of target without having to worry about the little chevron inside for pinpoint accuracy. That's your nice CQB style, just get on it and go kind of size. It is definitely noticeably larger than the previous Cyclops reticle, which I will roll in now. All right, so that image you just saw was taken directly from the Primary Arms Instagram page, and it's Dimitri's comparison of a Gen 1 reticle, the smaller one, right next to the Gen 2 to give it sort of a direct size comparison. And here is a size comparison of a Primary Arms red dot, the MD20 model. This is on my Reptilia mount here, which would be more comparable to the taller mount that you have to buy separately. But you can see side by side, it's going to put it really, really similar to the Gen 2 Cyclops. Obviously, the Cyclops is wider. You've got the big old adjustment dial here. And in my case, I'm probably going to leave this around like an 8 or something like that. And then this has your shake awake technology. So once it sits still for a while, it will go to sleep. As soon as you pick up the weapon, it will turn itself back on. Even if it did not turn on for some reason, you've got the etched reticle, so it's always there in black. And just guessing, I mean, this just to the hand feels nearly twice as heavy, but it's a prism optic, so that's to be expected. Now, let me reach across here, and here's maybe a better comparison is to the Vortex Spitfire, also a 1x prism scope. And this is where the new Gen 2 Cyclops really is a revolution in prism technology, or whatever you want to call it. Because, wow, that is a gigantic difference in form. Now, weight-wise, they're about the same. They're, again, to the hand anyway. If you want to nerd out and go look up the specs, feel free. But just to the hand, these feel really similar in weight. But obviously, the Cyclops is like 2/3 the size or something like that. Even smaller than that, really, by the time you factor in all the knobs and everything on here. I mean, it is much more sleek, svelte, and whatnot. So that's just some good eyeball side-by-side comparisons if you haven't already seen some out there on the YouTubes or the social medias or whatever. And the next thing we'll do is mount it up and take a look at it on my 12.5-inch AR. All right, y'all, and there you go. Right away, I'm kind of in love. I was a big fan of the Gen 1 Cyclops. Only like tiny pick on it was the size of the reticle and the brightness of the reticle, but ran it in classes, shooting steel, CQB distance, even out to, 100 yards, easy peasy. But this, better. And really liking the size and just the kind of the form and look of it and everything, because let's be honest, aesthetics matter. So right away, if I'm nice and slung in, you'll notice I've got it out a little farther. A lot of folks are running them, back closer to the charging handle. I like it a little farther forward, especially you've got the knob on there, and I just like that pushed out a little farther so that I can see around it, so that I'm maintaining more of my peripheral view. Words are hard. And I like to run it as much like I would a red dot as possible. So for me, I mean, both eyes wide open, and it's just, I mean, that reticle screams at you. It is boom right there. And this time you can actually make out the chevron, which is super cool. So if you need to slow down, dial in, and get a super precise shot, it's going to be a little easier. But for CQB, I mean, it is screaming nice and bright, and it is right there. And it's good, y'all. It's really good. If you are like me and suffer from astigmatism, and mine are like horrendous, like the doctor's like, yeah, glasses might help, but probably not. Like bad astigmatism. And I don't wear corrective lenses. I don't need them to see. So I'm like, am I going to get glasses just for the astigmatism? Anyway, maybe someday I will, but for now, huge fix. And I cannot wait to get this over to the range and actually get it zeroed in. Regular viewers might notice I went back to the SBA3 here. So I'll have to test that shockwave brace at a different time. I want to be able to focus and get this nice and dialed in, and I don't want to be fighting that stupid pain wave brace while I'm doing that. So we're going to do this first because this is my primary home defense. Well, I hate to say long gun, pistol or whatever. But anyway, thank you all so much to my Patreon supporters, and especially big thank you to everyone who's jumped in on those Buy Me a Coffee giveaways I've been doing, because that's what funded this. So thank you very much. And just thanks for watching. I kind of rushed this because I just want to get it out there into the world. So forgive some of the camera work for being, C grade or whatever. That's how we get down here. Anyway, until next time, be easy, y'all.